What's going on, guys? I get a lot of questions about the MT10E. People, asking me what they should buy for their first upgrades, things like that, and what works, and just what should they put their money in, should they invest in. So, just going to kind of give a quick overview of what mine is, how I have mine, how I actually just am now starting to get a chance to drive it. It's probably got about 3 or 4 runs on it. With this new setup, I had 2 with the XC run I had in it prior. But that was just a little bit too much motor for this truck, the way I had it set up and all, and it was this is much more fun and easy to drive. So we'll go over that in a minute. But I want to show some of the upgrades. Like I said, so we have a stock chassis, and the first thing obviously with these, every Redcat, every vehicle you probably purchase, stock, brand new, whatever, always upgrade your oil. You get some shock oil, empty these out. You can just pop the tops off here, pull it off, unscrew the cap, all 4 ends, turn the truck over in like a trash can or a bin or something, a box, dump out all the oil, flip it back over, fill them all up almost to the top, a little bit enough for a little bladder to sit down in it, and then cap them all off. And the difference is dramatic. It really is, just from some good shock oil, some good heavy shock oil. These springs are already soft, so what I have are different completely. But before that, it was the hard springs. So they're on my website. They're I got them at a good deal for wherever they are for both front and rear. But you might want to check them out because they're definitely going to make an improved difference, especially if you're using the shock oil. For people that just don't want to spend the money on the upgraded shocks yet, it's a good investment to do that. Personally, I love the CNC shock towers, mainly because the shocks I use are going to, to get that extra height. They're a little bit bigger shocks. They're 1/8 shocks, which I guess I can show that a while. It's so I got the BSR on it. So comparison, there's the CNC. It's a really nice. I can, here, you know what? I can bring it down. So let's get that in there. So they're just, you can tell where I think my body post is probably about the same height. You can just see that they're lower, basically where my shocks are mounted at. Can't get down that far, but they're like almost up to the top. So it's just a little higher, but that's because they're a little bit longer too, so to make up for that little bit of gap. But these are 1/8 big bore shocks compared to these little ones. These have much more. Oh, damn! I gotta close this cage. Hold on. Thing wants to fall on me. The front on these, I don't know what's with the front and the rear. They're the exact same thing, I'm sure, but maybe there's more. I would say there's more weight on the front, but with a wheelie bar, I don't think so. But it's got a lot of sag in the front. So it's the first thing I noticed. I think that's why I busted a shock the first time. Not to mention that rock, but whatever. It's just got a lot of sag. So mine, I can't turn my wheels right now. It feels like it wants to. I got to turn it on to get my servo to center. I got still a little bit to come back up, but I got a lot more. First of all, clearance. Which even if I was on wheels here, these are just going to go all the way up. It's not even a fair comparison because if I push this down, the suspension isn't giving me enough. These things aren't even close to right there. Are bottoming out. Where were they? Right there, bottom out. That's with the nose hitting the ground. These would not be the case. So one benefit of the bigger shocks with the higher shock towers. These I will have as well. You need these and the standoffs to fit these because the ends are different, but I do have the shocks. But again, I'm not going to list it. It's not going to be on my website, you guys. My number is on my website. You feel free to call me. Hit me up on Facebook if you guys are on Facebook. I will have the shocks. They're going to be cheaper to buy these and the standoffs than it would be to buy the standard upgrades of these, which are a heck of a lot more money. 20 some bucks more. It's still a lot of money for what you get. Basically, I don't even think it has a thumb screw adjustment, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get them. A customer got them and hated them and wound up actually going to these, and that's what we decided on as being a great fit for this truck. I love it. It's got plenty of bounce, plenty of everything that you need. All right, so what else? The roll cage, guys. I mean, you know, I get them overseas. They're expensive. I don't get a great deal on them. So, you know, if you look at them, and, oh man, they're, you know, not high, or hey, this guy in China's got it for, you know, $10 less. Well, you know, I had to get it from pretty much that guy for a basic bulk discount, and you know, I'm just reselling them over here for my customers, and basically an ease of access type of thing. So, you know, they're on there. I'm not making a ton of money on them added. Same thing with the skids here, man, which we'll get to in a second. You know, that stuff I'm not making a ton of money on. But if you're buying it in bulk, you're doing it as an add-on, it's always going to be cheaper. If you call me up, hit me up, private message me, whatever you want to do, it's always going to be cheaper to get, you know, hey, give me the skids, give me the roll cage, and you know, give me the shock set, something like that. You're going to pay way less. Go overseas and get it from eBay and all the places that have it for a little bit cheaper. It's going to be cheaper than all of them as a 3-pack or 4-pack total of all in one. So just keep that in mind. I mean, that's something, like I said, I don't really advertise that too much, but and I can't sell things under a certain price from Redcat, but I can bundle stuff. So again, back to the trucks. The roll cage is a beast, man. I like to be able to drive it, especially on a hot summer day. You got straight airflow coming through here. Everything's just wide open. Gives you the complete protection that you would, even better than what you would with the body. I mean, I've came down hard, really hard, numerous times on this. This body's painted on the outside, and you can only see scuffs where the roll cage kind of sits at and hits at. But I mean, if you want to protect your body, I mean, I got no Gorilla Tape. I got a brand new truck, I got Gorilla Tape on. I mean, I never roll no Gorilla Tape, but I knew I had the cage, so, and I protected it. So, but again, that's an awesome setup. I mean, it's got the third wheelie bar option, which I do have as well, as an add-on option. Just gives it more of a balance when it rolls back. You know, sometimes on that center wheel, you can get that walk. This is supposed to give it a little more balance of as long as you don't throw it back too far. Throw it back on it normally, it does give it a balanced roll. So that's a plus. Yeah, I like it personally. So that's something that you won't find pretty much anywhere else, especially not in the U.S. But I have them. I think they're add-ons for the roll cage and stuff. So when you look at the roll cage, especially for this one, if it's not, I have it. I'll check that myself when I get done. But anyway, so I got the 4000 kV Gen 2 in here. I would have went with the Max 10 that obviously would have fit in here, and I wouldn't have to vent my body for it. But you know, actually, I don't mind the airflow being pulled naturally, especially since I got the cage to protect it. I know that nothing's going to come down on top of it. So having that airflow come up through there is actually, you know, nice to me. I was going to put my old 3656 in this, but I wound up selling that right before I did. So I really wanted to try this new motor, released right around the same time. So I was like, man, I'm going to, you know, get the 4000 and check it out. I love it. I mean, it's a beast. It's a great motor. It's the only motor you're going to get for this truck that is, I mean, it fits perfectly. You're not going to get much more of a better fit. Even if you did, I mean, it's a 4000 kV motor running on 3S, and it's got some freaking great torque still. You know, I got a 15 on it right now running. I mean, I have no problems in sight right now. You know, I don't need to go up any higher. You know, it's a pretty heavy truck right now with everything I got on it. If you get this truck and get it really light, I mean, Christ, you could probably go up to a 16, 17 even. But, you know, I'm not going to recommend that because I haven't tried it. But it's just the weight of my vehicle with everything on it. It makes it a lot more. So, and this is a true 4000 kV, unlike a Ready to Run, which is never really a true kV. This is a true 4000 and the Quick Run 150. Again, the only reason I'm running the 150 is because I had it. The 120, I'm sure that comes with this, is the Max 10 120. I'm sure it would handle it perfectly. I'm sure it would handle it perfectly fine. But again, I already had that. That's with the motor. I mean, obviously, I don't have the stock motor, so if you're going to go upgrade, I mean, stay below an 11 tooth with the stock 80 amp. I mean, if the 80 amp ESC that comes on this truck is a downgraded version of the 120, which comes with this motor, and you know, it's downgraded. It doesn't have the same amperage. I mean, you can get cat packs and help the stock motor. I do believe personally, that's my own personal feeling of it. There's no facts to back that up or anything, but I know how cat pack works after dealing with a bunch of XC run issues, and I feel that a cat pack will help with the extra voltage of going to like a 12 tooth, you know, on this truck. Whereas if you want to push it a little bit, because 11 tooth in my opinion is enough for the stock motor in the ESC. It's a 4400 kV motor, so it's got some punch, and that ESC is only an 80 amps, so that's why it's geared down so low. But again, I think, you know, those cat packs would help. Regardless though, stay below 11. If you're not planning on upgrading your ESC, things like that, man, just stay below 11 and you should be fine. You know, that's the peak I would go at, especially if you start throwing, like I did, put heavier tires and things on it. So I mean, this one's running at a 15 right now, and I mean it goes. But again, you know, that's something you can do, one of the benefits of upgrading this motor. So all right, on to my next recommendation. I mean, you can see I haven't, only a couple runs. I mean, I haven't bashed this truck yet, so don't get that mistaken. I haven't bashed this truck yet, so that means I haven't went up any big rock hills or anything crazy on this truck. But the skids are nice. These are the other things I was talking about. I mean, they come, you know, for $60 I can sell you the front or rear Redcat skids. Well, for the same exact price, you know, after my coupon, you can get the same things that come all the way up here, and the skid stops like right here. So I mean, they come all the way up in the front, and if you got the roll cage, man, I mean, you're not even, this is all for show at that point and protect your bottom. I mean, you don't need to worry about this pressing in, because this piece is right here giving you that extra protection, plus your bars. And you can see I've actually landed a couple times on my nose. I mean, I did some cartwheels with this thing, man, and it's not even touched. So, you know, again, most of that stuff I didn't catch on video because it's just out, you know, me kind of show dogging, playing with some friends. But I mean, this truck's held up, man. I mean, 4 good runs on it, man. You can't even tell, and I flipped it numerous times. But so those I love. You know, I definitely recommend those. And what else do I got on this thing? Oh, and the steel-tipped body posts. These I love. Mine are scraped up just because I ran this one time without the cage on for a quick test, and I pulled the trigger and the damn thing flipped over and just scraped. I mean, it was instant scrapes, but they all got chewed up. But they're really nice looking. I could take a black Sharpie and color them in. That's fine for me, but they're really nice. They take the body really nicely. It makes the body go on nice, and plus it's a nice look, and they don't get, you know, if you got the roll cage though, man, none of that's hitting. You won't have to worry about that even touching. So it's even more of a bonus to get them, because they're going to look good and nice and shiny for much longer. So what else do we got on this thing? I do have, for people that don't want this setup, I do have the wing and buggy set now on my website from the E5 HX from Team Magic. I will have the ARR version, so people that don't have this truck yet, they're looking at this. A lot of the upgrades that I have, the CNC towers, you know, they only give you the front and rear skids, and some other items, the center diff. Oh, we got to talk about the center diff too. But things like that are upgraded standard on that truck, whereas they come like this. So it's the wing, it's got the buggy body, basically looks like a little mini-me BE6S. But again, it's on my website. If you want to get a truck, if you have the truck and you want to buy the kit, it's on there. So pretty soon the whole truck should be there. All right, the center diff. It does have a steel spur that's in this one. It's just a steel spur and rod. Eventually, until they revise this piece here, the center diff will come with this piece replacement. So if you get that in the package, you'll be like, man, what the hell is this for? I already got one. Well, the center is cut out different than the stock ones. So you'll replace that for now, and eventually when they know for sure that no one's got it anymore, and you know all the ones have been bought, they'll pretty much probably do away with this, because I'm sure that's added money that they would like to save. Because they don't even show, if you go look at the website, they don't even show you that. I'm sure they figured that out. But the center diff, what that's going to do, like the Loctite issue that's on this truck, which I'll have a video about to show you how to fix that Loctite issue when you get this truck. They've actually revised that. I'll talk about that in a second, because I don't want to get off what we're talking about now. But the center diff, with that issue with the Grub Screw pin coming out, like what's happening is it's backing out and it's coming out. It's catching the red chassis connector piece, like right here. It's catching on the inside, and then it's chewing up, it's spinning. Sometimes it comes out and the pin's just laying in the cup, and the drive cup falls off, and you luck out and you just put it back on, throw some Loctite on it. It's great. A lot of times it comes out, catches that, starts tearing up the black and the red because the grub screw's not all the way out, but yet it's catching as it's turning. With no slip on this drivetrain right now, with that stock spur on a rod, you're going to get straight power from the motor no matter what in the rear. That's what's causing that issue. That's why some people will complain of it locking up. When it locks up, it's because that's catching and your whole drivetrain's locked. If you had a center diff, that would catch and you would have front wheel drive, and you'd be like, oh, something's going on back here, let me go check, and find the grub screw, find everything you need right there to put it back together, no problem. So, but Redcat's been great. I mean, don't let me even act like they're not. What they've done, everything just with that, it's not even like a normal warranty issue, but obviously with the truck being brand new, coming with that issue, they're definitely taking care of it and stepping up. Obviously it's just a grub screw coming out, and I've recommended people a long time doing that, but they've stepped up and made sure that people that did have that issue, didn't know of it, got the parts they needed to get it fixed. And I mean, Redcat's a great company, and everybody wants to bash it, just they're haters, man. They haven't got involved, they haven't had to deal with them, they've had a bad product of them. They're definitely not buying anything that they came out with in the last 2-3 years, because again, said it before, game changers. So they're going out and they're getting the quality products, and that's what I mean. So anybody wants to comment and say, oh yeah, they're just buying other people's stuff. Yes, but they're buying quality stuff. I mean, they're teaming up with some of the better companies in the market. All right, so what I started to say about the grub screw and that whole thing to begin with was, I talked to my rep and he told me about a revision for the truck, fixing the issue for that. So I figured, okay, they were just going to go through, they Loctited them all, no problem. Well, come to find out tonight, from one of the guys on Facebook group had asked me a question about it, and he looked online and thought I had given him the wrong part. So, I dug into it, and he was showing me the exploded view, and the exploded view looked like it had a pin going through it, down. It had a different part number. I was like, man, I don't know what I don't know what that is. I was like, so I started going and trying to figure out what it was. Come to find out, I had the one from Redcat. One of my customers posted the one before, because he saved it as a PDF, and that showed the actual number that I sent him, which was a grub screw with the pin, which was coming out. So again, it looks like what they have done is the revision, which will start becoming out, obviously we'll start seeing them soon, is the pin that goes through, and it looks like it's got like a little ring or something holding the pin in. So it's going to be almost like the wheel hex for like a 17mm. It's got the extra or something like that. So, which is probably a much better system. I mean, it's probably better for everybody. It's definitely not going to come out. I mean, the wheel hexes don't. I've never had a rubber band break on me on my 17mm wheel hexes. So, it's a good thing. So, that actually, that's one thing right there that I'll probably upgrade, just to upgrade if I ever have a problem. I mean, the first time I ever have the issue with it, of course, I'm not going to, I've already Loctited mine, everything's good to go. But if I had that issue, that's what I would do. So, if you're going to Loctite it, as soon as those parts become available, I'll find out, and I'll make sure I put it on there as upgraded, drive cups or something along that line. So you'll see them on my website, and I'll list them specially as that. So I will have them once they're available. I'm sure it's something that's on order. I'm sure that's not something they have in stock yet, or I would have already, noticed the new part number. So the links on these are the Traxxas links. I had to get the number off of them. One of these will be turned away. I could probably see it. No, I mean, I might post that in the link, but they're Traxxas links. I want to say they go to the T-Max. Don't hold me to that right now. I had an issue with the rear that came out after, at least 3 or 4 runs in, did that take to come out, and just because it was in the wrong hole. So I actually thought I was going to Loctite it and put them back in. I was able to just put them in the right hole. So that was like a dome moment, but it was all right. It made me feel a lot better than having the JB weld something. So the axle issue, which some people may know, some people may never experienced it with it, but if you don't know, the axle was snapping off right here. So I mean, in my opinion, I think that they had a bad batch somewhere in the middle of there, because it was kind of inconsistent. But I think that's kind of weeded out, and they've pretty much went through that. Plus, I'm sure they started producing more that it looks like the thread goes all the way down to the inner cup now. So actually, do I have one? So you can't really see that now, but I can't get to zoom in. but it's threaded all the way down to the bottom. So the new ones that I've noticed, they go, you know, probably about double what that is right there, broken off at. Probably goes about double that before the thread starts. So hopefully that resolved that issue. And you know, again, I have something a little bit different, but basically it relies on the same systems. All right, what else? Oh yeah, sway bars. I mean, sway bars are great if you're going to strap your tires or have tires that are strapped. If you're not, I mean, there's no point. These things are going to pancake. You've seen the video, especially start increasing, especially start going with the bigger motor and things like that. You know, these are going to get worse. I showed that in the, I think I had this truck with the MT10E, these two tires on this side, and the MT10E street tire and the stock tire in the rear. So you've seen how much it pancakes. I mean, that thing just is crazy. And that was this setup. So if you're taking care of your tires, the sway bars are going to help, and they're going to be noticeable. If you get sway bars on this thing and expect it to have great control, great steering, I mean, you're just not going to get it. So spending your money on a set of sway bars, although I will be happy to sell them to you, man, I would definitely say if your tires aren't strapped, don't worry about the sway bars. Save that money till when you realize you don't want, you know, tires going crazy on you. All right, so one of the last things that I have is pretty clear. It's the 17 millimeter adapters. Now, two things. These are the hot racing 12 millimeters, 17 millimeters. So what I like about these is these are 6 millimeter offset. So I got plenty of width. Okay, because what I'm about to say next is going to, you know, have a little bit to do with this. So I've tried these. I had, again, six runs with them on, 2 of them bad, but that was axle related. So the last 4 after replacing the axles again with the new axles, I've had no issues. So with that being said, they're holding up great. These are the hot racing 12 to 17 millimeter adapters, and you know, again, no issues in sight as of right this minute. So a little bit more testing, we'll find out if they are or not. But worst case scenario, and for people that don't want to spend 26 bucks, it's going to be probably close to 20 something, I think, for them. But they do have a true 17 millimeter adapter coming for this. What it's going to do, it's going to replace the 14 millimeter adapter, kind of like the 12 millimeter does. It's going to be like a hex piece that goes on. It's going to be a 17 millimeter hex piece that goes on. And then they're going to have on the other side, obviously, because the hole is going to be bigger than what a normal like 14 millimeter stub axle is going to be. So what it is it goes over top of that on the outside of the rim, and then you put your nut on top of that. So that gives you the locking onto the actual 17 millimeter hub, which is in the rear. But the only difference is, like, you know, the 6 millimeter offset I have right now, you're probably into right about here. So you're just hugging the body a little bit more. You don't have as much width, but again, one benefit is you have to buy the 12 millimeter adapters for these to even go to this. But if you already have the 12 millimeter adapters, and you know, I got a couple guys that have these and have not had any problems, so I mean, maybe you want that extra width, give you a little bit more body roll, more lean ability without having to tip, then maybe go to these. But if you don't have it yet and you want to put some 17 millimeter wheels on them, there is an option coming for that. So just, you know, stay tuned for that. I mean, I got the CNC bevel gears and things in there. Now, granted, I had already Loctited everything, so I'm not going to say that they're great or anything. But I can tell you one thing is, the first thing I noticed about this truck when I had the Exie run in it, it rolled by me, it was just so quiet. It didn't have that really geary sound. And of course, my center diff has also got the CNC machine spur. So I mean, they're lighter, they're harder, they're just a better cut, you know, material. So and personally, they're, you know, being lighter, I guess they're a little bit quieter. So again, maybe they're not, but that's one thing I noticed. Obviously, knowing that I had them done, just didn't have that really geary sound. That's pretty much all I can say about it, man. I mean, it's a great little truck. It's well built for 300 bucks. You know, if you guys want to check one out, I got great bundles for them. You know, stay tuned for the ARR, and you know, keep doing it, man. I mean, keep bashing, no matter what you're driving, man. Keep out there bashing and having a good time with them, man. That's what it's all about. It ain't what you're driving, it ain't who makes it. It's what you're out there doing. So enjoy, and you guys, if you have any comments, hit me up. You guys got any feedback or anything you want to see me do? You know, I'm up for options. I'm bored, man. I'm trying to find stuff to get into. So got some new trucks. I might be playing around with some of them here in a little bit and make some new videos. But like I said, I'm out, man. If I keep going, I'm going to keep talking. So if you guys have any questions, hit me up, man. Thanks.